right. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Shem Yahweh, by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations of the hopeful that got that pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Shema Shot, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience, all right, of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Shema Shot. All right, and what I want to get into, all right, it's like what we want to get into, all right, this afternoon, dealing with blessed is he that readeth, because one thing about it, when we first came into the ministry, all right, we had a zeal, to pretty much consume, you know, our day to day, when it was all about learning more, increasing, and then as we, walk within this ministry, we balance out, we level out, but one thing about it, dealing with Satan and sifting, one of the things that he tries to separate us from is the actual reading of the word, getting into the scriptures, and that's pretty much a lifeline, within this ministry that keeps us strong in the spirit, is having a good regimen of reading, and, we go through life, a lot of changes happening, you're in the truth for years and you go through all type of changes, moving, families, and jobs, and positions and all different type of things, and sometimes reading, gets lost in the equation, But one thing about it that's very vital, okay, into this ministry and staying refreshed, because reading is that one-on-one time with Yahweh Shai. And we're going to get into it. Matter of fact, get that Revelation 1 and 3.
This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth,
Yep.
and that heareth the words of this prophecy.
Yep. Blessed is he that readeth and heareth the words of this prophecy. Okay? Because as Israelites, Lord will, the hopeful elect, prophecy is good news for us, man. That we get understanding through reading. A lot of times when we read, I remember we first came into the ministry, there's a lot of ministry, into the faith, we first come into the truth, a lot of things that we will read, we'll watch videos and it'll get broken down, and that's how the spirit works. You see, the spirit, works to constantly edify the body and build the body up, and reading pretty much puts us in the mix and puts us in the position to be constantly edified, man. Go ahead.
Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein.
And keep those things which are written therein. That's another thing. Reading gives us instructions. Okay? One thing about it, as we read, like, we'll read something about what we're going through. We'll read something that give us the instruction to get us to the next phase, man. We might be hitting the wall, dealing with something, then reading, pretty much it give us that nugget, that we need to give us a precept, because one precept will change your whole mindset, your whole perspective, how you look at everything, man. I know this brother can attest. You had something to say? Okay, come on.
For the time is at hand.
Yep.
And it said, for the time is at hand. Like it said, blessed is he that readeth and keepeth the word. So it's a two-part. There's two parts to it, like the brother said. Because first you got to read to understand and to know what to do in the time to come. Looking at what our forefathers did, you're really not gonna understand the mindset that they was in if you don't read about the way they moved during that time period.
Yeah.
That's why I said the time is at hand, because now it's our turn to go through what we have to go through.
Yep. What's that? Let's get that in the 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It's a blessing, to be able to read and read with understanding. Especially since we have the understanding, like our reading is different than everyone else's. Like it's intensified. Go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Yep, a workman needeth not to be ashamed, which means it's a labor. Like you really got to put in work, because you can be reading, you get one precept, and you can do a 30-minute study on one precept, just going to different words and going into history, like it's so many avenues you can go. When you read, like it branch off into so much, learning, and getting a better understanding. Okay, as we read the book of Maccabees, well, you go into the Greek history, you know, that puts just more understanding on that era of what was going on. You understand the Persian Empire, what was going on during the time of Daniel, and you know, you start to understand these things, and everything becomes full circle. But it's a work that goes into that, you know. And once you put that work in, hey, you're not ashamed. You be confident. Be ready to expound and teach, and debunk certain things. You know.
That's another thing, like you said, confident, because now you being sure of what you're being taught,
Mm-hmm.
or sure of what you're learning.
Yep.
So like you said, when others don't agree, or when they come with their own philosophies, you're not doubting whether this is what you really read or if it's really true or not.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Because you read it for yourself, and like you said, you did a deep search.
At that church in Berea.
That's
Hey, brothers went into that chai sai stigma, that word charagma, for Revelation 13 and 16. Okay. Hey, brothers broke that word down. Each character really went into it, man, and it tells the story of what this devil is trying to do, man. Okay, this man is trying to give you a pseudo salvation through his technology, man. Replace the Messiah with his technology, man. Okay, but that comes with what? Being a workman, really, really studying and going into things, man. Okay, that's a part of the ministry. Jay get offended by it, but that's a part of it, man. We're not here to just, read loud on the highways and byways, okay, scream out precepts, but really not get into these things, man. Really, getting into the Hebrew, that's another thing. Like, you gotta tap in. Like, we want to be on the highest frequency possible going into this time, man, in the spirit, man. You know, you got it, bro.
a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Yeah, rightly dividing the word of truth, man, breaking these things down the right way. And it comes with study and research, man. you know, going back, looking at old videos, man, writing down the breakdowns, man, just being refreshed, and even going over some of your old notes. Cause your old notes, you look at your old notes, man, you be cut, man. You like, damn, I was on fire. Okay, you look at it now, trash. Like, I'm trash compared to the first month that I came in, man.
You start seeing dates being skipped. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
If you date your notes.
Yeah, through. Okay, the whole summer, and through. But the spirit, get on us every now and then, man. Tighten up, man. Tighten our belt up, man. You know. Um.
I had one.
Okay, go ahead. Look at that Revelation 3:20.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
That he may run that readeth it. Okay, reading is a part of the process, man. It's very necessary. Okay, and that's why we're able to run with these visions of our forefathers that they had written down, because now, we understand, okay, all the things that they were seeing in their visions. We understand these things now, man. And through reading, we're constantly putting together the pieces of the puzzle, man. You know?
And then the table is where you eat it. So with you spiritually feeding your mind, because like you said, you table you where you eat it. You have to constantly feed your mind just like you feed your flesh. You got to feed the spirit. So that's why he said, write it upon tables. Make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth.
Matter of fact, get that Revelation 3:20. You know?
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me.
Yeah, and that's Yahweh Shai at the door. He's knocking at the doors of our mind. You know? And like I say, when you read, you're really going into another realm. You know? It's really an intimate, like this an intimate like supper. Like he's saying sup, that's short for supper. And that was a very intimate meal, especially in Middle Eastern culture, like supper, you would really get to know, people over a supper, man. Okay? Because supper, that's the last meal of the day, and you'll pretty much talk about everything that happened that day, or what you got going on in the future, what moves you trying to make. Like, you would really discuss these things over supper. It was a very intimate setting, okay? That's why now, like, even with husband and wife, they have the dinner, the supper, but they have the candles, the little music, you know?
The wine.
Yeah, the wine, okay, setting that mood. But that's how, your house shot, even with Reed, you burn your little Palo Santo, throw your prayers up, have your incense. You see, you're setting an intimate setting for you and your house shot to have that one on one. Because that's really our one on one with your house shots when we read, you know? Because that's why the spirit, you can read something, in the spirit of just drop another precept in your head, you know? That's really your house shot telling you, okay, now go to this one. Then you read that one, now go to this one. It's really, your house shot, that's the one on one. You see? And you go to that word intimate. Let's get that definition for intimate. It said, this is on Elam Online. It says closely acquainted, very familiar. Okay? So we get very familiar through reading. Closely acquainted is, because reading produces what? Prayer, fasting, being separate. Because see what these precepts do, they constantly plant different perspectives in your head and they wash away the filth and the toxic of this world, man. Like reading is like detoxing from Babylon, man. Because you can get so entangled with this bullshit and all this, hustle and bustle. It's goddamn hamster wheel, man. you know. But reading, all right, pretty much, is an escape, in some way, man. And we get that one-on-one with Yahweh Shot.
And like you said earlier, help you focus and lock in. And then a lot of times you read when you start reading, depending on what you're reading, you actually put yourself in that spot. Wherever you're reading it, the time to come, you start reading and going into precepts about it, you start putting yourself in the mindset of where you're going to be at, visualizing the scriptures, like you said, something with your Howard shot.
And you keep going. Like you say, yeah, because you read, you can go to these places. You have to go back. Like you read my David and Goliath, you kind of put yourself in that. Really reading, that's the real, like, Esau tried the virtual reality and shit, the goggles, but like really that reading is how,
Cause you can visualize the whole battlefield.
Yep.
Just by reading it.
Yep. I want to go into some more definition. It says the innermost, the deepest, all right, of affections, okay? And it says also a close friend. You see? What did, matter of fact, let's get that in, St. John 15, you had something? Let's get St. John 15. We started 15.
This is St. John chapter 15, verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends.
I have called you friends. Okay? Why is he going to call us friends? Go ahead.
For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
I have made known unto you. And how do we get into this information that was told to Yahweh Shai? It's through reading.
Because he come in the volume of the book.
He come in the volume of the book. You see? So everything he was told of the Father, he pretty much had it written down. Okay? The Spirit had everything written down. So it's like everything that the Father tell me, I tell you, I call you friends. Okay? That's why only his friends can read it and really get to understand it.
Make it plain upon table.
Yeah. Okay? Because there's a lot of people that can sit down and read, but they're not in their intimate setting. They're not in their realm with Yahweh Shai. They're not there. They on the outside, trying to read, and it's not clicking. Because Yahweh Shai not there. You can read all day, but if Yahweh Shai not there, you done. Yahweh Shai not there guiding you through the precepts, you're done. Okay, that spirit, you see? That's why it even says, let's get that in the Wisdom of Solomon. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon 7. Started at like 20, I'm gonna say 25.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
Yep.
Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
And they're speaking of wisdom, okay? That pure influence. See, we're influenced to do this because that spirit. The spirit is on us to be right here, right now, doing this. A pure influence from Yahweh Shema Shai. Go ahead.
For she is the brightness of the everlasting light,
Yep.
the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness.
Go ahead.
And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new.
She maketh all things new, which is fresh. Okay, that's why we become new creatures through what? This wisdom. The understanding of this Bible, of what we read, has made us new creatures. Okay, and wisdom can do all things. Wisdom is setting everything in our life in order, man. Okay, we learn how to be better men, better husbands. Okay, we learn how to be better everything, man, through this same wisdom. It's just ordering everything right.
Better brothers.
Yep, better brothers. Come on, so go ahead.
And in all ages entering into holy souls.
Yep.
She maketh them friends of the Most High.
She making them what?
Friends of the Most High.
Friends of the Most High.
And prophets.
An intimate relationship. You see that? Okay. But going back into it, Yahweh Shai has to be there. Okay. That's why Jake did downplay Yahweh Shai. You see, they be off. You know, they don't really have it. They can sound cute, but they really don't have it when it comes to really being in the spirit, real time. You got it, bro.
I'm gonna read one more, and I got a quick.
Okay, you got it.
Verse 28. For the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom.
Yep.
And this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
You break it down.
And you get wisdom and understanding first and foremost through obeying the Lord, but also too through reading and studying. Because it said with all that getting, get an understanding. You have to get an understanding of what you're reading too. But in order to get an understanding, you have to constantly read and study. And it said the Lord loveth none that dwelleth with wisdom. So He loveth none but those that's trying to develop the intimate relationship with Him.
I think that's in let's get 2 Corinthians 3 and let's start at in 2 Corinthians 3 and 12.
2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 12. Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech.
And we use great plainness of speech because we're not here trying to sound, like these brilliant. No, we're trying to break it down to the simplest form. That's why brothers use analogies that, people can relate to, man. Okay? We're not here to overcomplicate the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Go ahead.
And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face,
Yep.
that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished.
Yeah, Moses had that veil. Okay? So pretty much they didn't have access to their glory because Moses was going up there getting their wisdom and coming down, but the nation didn't have that access to their glory of their wisdom. Symbolic that they couldn't get into their glory. Go ahead.
But their minds were blinded.
Yep.
For to this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament.
And that same veil is untaken away in the minds of a lot of Israelites. That's why you have Israelites, the Old Testament only. Don't believe in Yahweh Shai.
Right.
Okay? Yahweh Shai not suffer. So when they read the Old Testament, Yahweh Shai not there with them. So that's why they come to the conclusion Yahweh Shai is an idol, because Yahweh Shai not dealing.
Yeah, prophet.
Yeah.
They say the different things.
Hey,
How
how
you
you
doing?
doing? Doing all right?
Ain't seen y'all in a while.
Yeah, we been on a little vacation, man.
Yeah, I don't blame
Yeah,
you.
they gave us a little time off.
Yeah, y'all have a good day.
Ah,
You
you
too.
too.
All right.
Go
It's,
ahead.
it says, which veil is done away, um,
You start. Yeah.
verse 14. But their minds were blinded, for unto this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament,
Yep.
which veil is done away in Yahweh Shai.
Which veil is done away in who?
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai.
Shai. Yahweh Shai came to break everything down, to make it plain. Okay?
He opened their minds.
He
So they was
opened
understanding.
everything up.
That's why he told his disciples, "Blessed are your eyes and blessed are your ears, but they hear and they see, and your heart, but they understand."
I think that's in one of the gospel where Yahweh Shai did that. Hold on. So now as we read, we supping with Yahweh Shai, it's a very powerful because everybody don't have that access, man. Like we understand we can get out work and go have dinner with Yahweh Shai. That's the access, you know.
Come.
We get all these punk ass jobs and then we get to go, have that intimate setting with Yahweh Shai, man. You know? That's not a light thing. I think that's in
And that's a privilege. That's an honor.
I want to say it's Luke, man. Please open your mind. Go to Luke 20. Let me see. You go Luke. It says Luke 22. When he revealed himself. Luke 24. Because it's Yahweh Shai that pretty much opened up the full understanding. That's why he was worthy to open the seals of the book. Okay? So when we open the book, the understanding is there. Okay? I think when you go down to Luke 24 and 44. We can end it there.
This is Luke chapter 24, verse 44.
This is Yahweh Shai speaking. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
Yeah, so he was breaking everything down. Okay? He was breaking everything down that was in the Old Testament concerning him. He was removing that veil from the apostles. Okay? And go ahead. This is what he did.
Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures.
Then open he their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. So when you look at somebody that don't get it, Yahweh Shai didn't open them up. Okay? You didn't get the invitation to the supper. You see? He said Yahweh Shai opened their understanding so they can understand the scriptures. And remember, he said he can open doors that no man shutteth, and he can close doors that no man open. The Most High can open your understanding, and no one can shut that door. Okay? He can close it, and there ain't nothing you can do to open it. You see? This the power that we dealing with, man. But that's, the benefit of being able to suck with Yahweh Shai, man. It's, you get cut talking about it, man, because we don't take advantage like we should. Talking myself first and foremost, I just got to tap back in, the hell with it. It is what it is, man, because it don't matter if you get 10 hours sleep, 8 hours, 4 hours, you still be the same through when you wake up fatigued as hell.
Yeah.
And through.
Knowing you got to go back through it again.
Yeah, just the thought, But, hey, just gotta tap in. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's a fight. It's part of the fight, man. We gotta tighten our belts up and do what gotta be done in the spirit, man. There yet remain the rest. It's in the kingdom. We get all the rest we want in our kingdom, man. Right now, just gotta do what you gotta do. Be balanced as possible, man. But sometimes you gotta push these little weak ass bodies to the max, man. to stay in the spirit, you know. Got anything else? All right, well, with that, we pray that you brothers and you few sisters were edified. Once again, and give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example to our younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the whole fleet. Shalom.
Shalom.